Welcome to Smileys. So, hi, this is Mora, and today we're going to be talking about Forge of the High Mage by E.N.C. Esselmont. And the smug guy showing up his paperback is my co host, Lee. How are you?
Hello, I'm quite good.
Right. So, just I think 2 days before we are recording this, we sort of realized that AP and Philip Chase came out with a video just on this topic.
We got scooped,
Yeah,
is
but
the technical term.
is that what you say? Okay,
Yeah,
you
it's
young ones.
in academia when someone publishes a paper on specific subject first, and like every other subsequent paper has less value because of it. It's called
Uh-huh.
getting scooped.
Right.
So yeah, we got scooped by people who are considerably more knowledgeable than us, but it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, but you know what we have that they don't? Are you ready?
Chill vibes, chill
No,
vibes,
we have
and
we have
Coke. We
Coke.
have Coke. Okay,
I
much more
think
important,
someday Coke has to start sponsoring us. So yeah,
probably.
the difference between them and us is that we are not going to have a no spoiler version.
Oh
We're just
yeah,
going to go straight into
that's the
spoilers.
actual difference.
So yeah, do you have like a short summary
Um, kind of. I can make one on the fly if you want.
on the
So,
fly? Yeah.
so following Canved's Reach, which ended with Canved's conquest of Lihang, we are jump a few years ahead.
Excuse me. Actually, just mention the rest of the spoiler scope.
Oh yeah, good point. It's every book we've done so far, right? Like Book of the Fallen, novels of the Malazan Empire, and that's it. And the rest of
Maybe
the
even
PTA books.
Kharkanas for good measure. Why not?
Why not?
But no Kharkanas. There's no reason. There's no reason to bring up Kharkanas. But
Yeah.
definitely Gardens. Definitely Book of the Fallen. Definitely not me. Novels. There is a lot of novels to talk about here. Yeah. So yeah, please go on. Kalanwitz Reach.
So Canved's Reach ended with Kellanved's conquest of Lihang. We jump forward a few years after the Malazan conquest. I say conquest. In actuality, from what we get in the book, it's more like they showed up, they knocked at the door, and they said, "Okay, you're under new management now." Of Kontali.
Yeah, conquests don't have to be always one thing, right?
Okay, that's a good point. That's true. And now the combined forces of the Malazan Empire, both naval and land, are amassing towards Valar. And I say the combined forces because there's like a few other people, like Gellenbed, who are not at all interested in any of this Empire shit, and they're just doing their own thing. As the name implies, Forge of the High Mage, which Mora apparently likes a lot more now, following reading the book. The book is chiefly, well, I say chiefly, it's mostly about Daeshrin. As like when we asked Cam about this, so like the first 3 books are to develop Canvad and Dancer, and from now on they're taking on more of a backseat for other characters. This is definitely Daeshrin's book.
Yeah. So
that's the background. Quick summary of what actually happens. We have a few scenes in Fowler with a few interesting things we'll get to later. It's probably one of the better storylines of this book, which says a lot because there's a lot of good storylines in this book. We have a fucking moving mountain, which is just amazing. We have the characters within the mountain and out of the mountain.
You know what we need to specify? That even though this is a flying mountain, it's not Moonspawn. It's another flying mountain.
There's a different flying mountain which just hovers over the ground like a few meters and fly. They even specify like, oh, this is just a prototype. You know, they made this before, which is wild. But anyway, so you have a few scenes in Valar, which mostly revolve around the faith of Mael, and yeah,
yes, and
and Malik Rel.
Yes.
You have yes.
Yeah, go on. Finish the summary.
You have our boy Daeshrin, who is with the expeditionary force of mainly our main characters in the force are Dudrek and Dassam, who are leading. It's like actually one of the bigger armies we see the Malazan field this early in the book, in the series rather. And then you have the combined naval force under the command of Cartheran, who is basically comprised of any sort of pirate that Caliban managed to find,
Yeah.
which we'll also talk about a bit later, because, yeah. And then you have Caliban and Dancer doing completely their own thing. They're barely in the book. You have the Guard, who is also doing their own thing. Mostly reacting to the Flying Mountain, which will, I'm so giddy about this. And then lastly, we have the Jank, right? We have Lara, the Bird Priestess, from Dancer's Lament and Caliban's Reach.
Yeah.
Which was a nice reveal. And am I forgetting something? Oh, right. You also have the Titan D, right? You have Feral and Endist.
Yeah, Feral and Endist, yeah. And we have those shipwrecked people who I still have no clue. Hessa and the twins.
Hessa, Turnagain, the two Hyde and Ayal are the two twins.
Yeah.
That's it.
What
And
are
there's
they?
Corbin, who dies like an idiot.
Yeah, what exactly are they? They're just shipwrecked people just show up.
Yeah, they're shipwrecked people that move inland and they get taken by Singer into the mountain basically to run it.
Nice. So good. That's a good summary. Right?
Summary. But anyway. So is there anything specific you want to start with?
No, I just want to talk about the title. Because before we started, I thought the High Mage could mean either Teshran, it could mean Malikrel, obviously, or it could mean, I think, Endist. Endist was another contender for the title because I didn't know he was there. So once I saw that, okay, there's another High Mage here. Is it another High Mage? I think at least these three.
Yeah, there's also Kellanbed, but technically he's already been forged.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't need more. Forging. He was born forged as a High Mage. So.
He was annealed before birth.
So that's what I was thinking, and then it turns out to be an out-and-out Teshran book. No doubt, the High Mage is Teshran, and it's awesome. It sets up so much background. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with the title. I was mad that Gistal is such a nice, fancy-sounding name.
It does sound very good. It sounds very Malazan, but
and I thought, why is there a need for another forge, right? There's already Forge of Darkness in Malazan. Why do we need a Forge of High Mage? But he was literally forged in fire, and then he gets tempered by getting dunked into this ocean. Oh, it was so good. I was so happy with the title. I have to tell Cam that, awesome. Good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So, do you know what was a big surprise for me? After Dancer's Lament, I thought we are done with Ulara.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
We talked about that,
Even in Kellenwood's Reach, it was like a surprise that she showed up. And at the end, we thought, okay, even then her story is done. So Cam just randomly picked her up and put her as the Bird Priestess and left her there, is what I thought. Right? Because that's how that book ends. She goes on to become their priestess, and that's it.
Cool lore, neat. Yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, she's back and Dancer meets her, and oh, that's so cute. But don't you think their dialogue was a bit stiff? No? Yes.
To be kind of fair, I don't remember much of the dialogue between these two.
Yeah, because
to be honest.
It was very stiff. I was looking forward to how they'll meet and all that. But I mean, maybe he was going for an awkward vibe, which is good.
I think
but it was very stiff.
At least partly because Ulara is definitely thinking ahead. Dancer is still thinking, oh, who's that little girl I met 10 years ago, 15 years ago in Liheng. She's the priestess of an entire people that are currently being threatened by Dancer's Malazans.
Yeah.
It's not we can't be lovebirds anymore, dude. You killing me.
No, but there was no it was very, very understated. So you just see that they're talking to each other and holding hands and stuff, but the actual dialogue was just, I don't know. I wish it was more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. The fact I don't remember it probably speaks more to the fact that it was not particularly memorable. So I do quite like the dialogue in this book between other characters.
Oh my god, yeah.
God,
which one, Kellenwood just rocks. He rocks every scene he's in. Oh god. Any memorable dialogue you want to bring up?
Some of my favorite dialogue is just how much fleshing. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes,
that if you want to pick up memorable dialogues and stuff, You know, I please go ahead on your book. I want to see how you how you pick up stuff.
Okay, yeah. Hang on. This might take some time.
You don't even highlight stuff. See, I have a list of stuff. Okay.
But yeah, like one of my favorite one of my favorite pieces
Yeah.
is after like the guardsmen break up and you have like Jack and Gwen going to find Skinner and then Blues and Black going to find Shimmer. There's just so much fleshing out of these four characters in this book just by dialogue alone. They don't even do very much, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like just through dialogue alone, you get so much set up on who they will be later. Like Blues, he's a weapon master. He doesn't even realize. Like, he just was chosen one day. Oh yeah, you're the weapon master. Doesn't even think about it, but he fights really well.
Even with his stave, like he doesn't
Even
have
with his
like an
stave.
edged blade or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like weapon in most of the not me are just two sticks
Yeah.
because he doesn't
yeah.
have blades. You have Gwyn, who is a very by the book character. He just does everything by protocol, and then he joins Skinner, and then he goes to Jakaruku with Skinner and figures out, holy shit, this guy's evil, and then goes back to Kaz. You have Jackinth, who joined with Skinner because she hates Simmer, and that's it.
You say
That's
jacket?
kind of it. Yeah.
Okay.
You say Jackinth or what?
Well, I don't say Yakin. I would probably say Jacinth or something.
I
No.
think Jackinth is like a plant, so that's why I'm pronouncing it like that. Well, that's how it's pronounced in Greek anyway.
Okay. Okay. Sure. So let's go
yeah.
with Jacinth. Doesn't
Well,
sound good. Yeah. And the
who else
other
is
guy?
there? And there's
There was
Black,
Smokey.
right?
Smokey left.
Smokey just kind of up and left after the avalanche, and there's like Black.
Black the Lesser. Do you remember his last scene? Like he was talking about these moon flowers or something. I think that was very sweet. That one scene was very sweet.
Yeah.
He says he tried
It's
to
like
find it.
he's like a really big warrior. He's like a menacing motherfucker. Like dresses only in black, and he just frolics around in fields with his father, looking for that's really good.
And like I think even Blues thinks that you think you know someone and then they just turn around and show. Yeah. That is good. Yeah, guards are amazing always in Camp's books. Yeah, you know what is my most favorite line in the whole book?
Which you can find easily because you have a Kindle. Yes.
Oh yeah, no. I think you'll just agree with me on this because Kellenwood collects historians the way the other rulers collect mistresses.
God.
Like I don't know how many historians show up in this book. Like forget about Heboric because he doesn't
There's
get the agenda. Yeah.
There's at least like 3 that I know of are mentioned in the book.
The one with the map at the end.
There's the guy with the map at the end. There's a guy with the map at the beginning, who's a different guy.
And the map at the end, I think, talks about a different historian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and you have like Duiker, who's mentioned in the book. You have Karsten, who is like writing the Fall of the Crimson Guard.
Oh God, yeah.
Do you remember that part? Yeah. So yeah, like there's 4 different historians being mentioned in this book, plus Heboric from last book.
That you know what vibes that gave me when Karsten started writing about the Crimson Guard? It was like who was this guy in Blood and Bone? Principal Scribe Thorn. Yeah. The way he talks about, just exaggerates and writes whatever he wants. And Kellenwood gets the same thing done for himself. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I think I like Kellenwood the most, like more than Dancer. Can you believe it? Kellenwood is awesome.
Easily.
Yeah, easily, yeah. I mean, what did Dancer do except being cool? Kellenwood is awesome. Right. So, are there more dialogues? Let me just look up quickly.
Oh, there's that part with Daishin, like he has his 2 minders, Ud and Missy.
Oh,
who are like, we're supposed to go with you. Okay, can you like not do that?
Yeah.
Just like that? Yeah. Can you like stay here? Okay.
No,
so
he
they stayed
asks
here.
everyone else. He asks like Daxum and Dancer and everyone to just order them to stay back. And,
yeah. Oh, how did you get them to stay? Well, I asked. Oh, imagine that. God,
that's Dancer. Yeah, that's Dancer.
These 2 are twats.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, it was very nice the way Cam goes into Tay's head. It is so consistent. And because we didn't have this background, Gardens of the Moon, and the first few books sort of seemed off to us, right? Because we don't know what sort of a guy Tayshran is and how can this, ordinary kingdom mage just be, just chase away Moonspawn or something, right? It was so unbelievable, but this is where we see he can take on Feral of all the people. He can just take on Feral one-on-one. And yeah.
And like
And
even
shout out
here,
to our,
yeah,
can we
yeah,
shout out to our
yeah,
YouTube friend, Feral?
yeah, Feral.
Yeah. Who told us that, there is a character in this. So I'm so happy. That person always comments and
Mm-hmm.
talks to us. So it's for, yeah, they read, yeah, they told us to read Fourth of the High Mage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I should apologize to our Twitter friend, Shia, because I didn't name any names. I didn't spoil anything, but still, I just wanted like a reunion. But now I'm sort of disappointed that nothing happened. They met and they just acknowledged each other and went on their way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was fine. It was okay. Yeah, go on. You've been wanting to say something.
No, it's fine. What I wanted to say is that even from Dead House Landing, where he's first introduced, you still have this arc of Taishan trying to fit. He doesn't quite fit.
Yeah.
You don't have the same thing where he just like academically observes what he's feeling and what he's thinking and trying to rationalize why he's feeling that way. But
Yeah.
even here, it takes him some time to realize what he wants, and he has to process it first. Like, why am I doing this? What do I want? Oh, yeah, I want respect from the common soldier. I want these people not to view me as a superior, but like as an equal, as a friend, as someone they can trust and protect.
And then he even
That's-
thinks how pedestrian this is.
Yeah. He has a lot of these scenes in this book. It's like, oh, how pedestrian, how like the riffraff and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
great. He
But yeah,
hasn't gotten over that. It doesn't go away.
Yeah. And you can see Hairlock being more and more alienated away from him because he probably thought this guy is going to go to this flying mountain and die, and Hairlock would become the next High Mage or something. But yeah,
The book
Tay
even
is
ends
awesome.
like this, right? Like Tay just notices,
Yeah.
oh, this guy's a bit of a dick, but he's useful to the Empire.
Yeah. See, nice. But yeah, there was a thing about Hairlocks trying to fill Tation's boots or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they talk about like even Nightchill is a contender, but I have to bring this up. Why is one more person, one more woman, barefooted in Cam's books? I don't know why. Every book has, like, you said it's like probably I'm biased because I notice it more, but I don't know. I don't see any mentions of barefoot guys. We have who's that lady who goes on to Ulara's camp? The soul taken beast hold Seti. What's her name?
Cial.
Cial.
What else?
Yeah. Cial. She's barefoot, and Nightchill is, and every book has one or two. So, I don't mind in the sense, Lassine is so awesomely described as always being barefoot, right?
Mm-hmm.
No complaints.
It's just down to earth, right? So like, it's a means to make them seem like they're down to earth and more like grounded rather than
No.
imperious. No.
No, I thought Lassine is barefoot because she's always fighting ready.
Yeah, but she's also unprepossessing because of it. Like, she doesn't look regal. Like, despite most people's power, like Nightchill is an elder goddess, right? But she looks.
I have a
average.
counter. I have a counter for that.
What's the counter?
Shalmanath. She is barefoot too, but she is not unprepossessing or anything.
Yeah, that's true enough. God damn it.
So there is a different value for each one's barefootedness. So
Yeah.
right. What was Shalmanath's barefoot purpose?
I don't fucking know.
I think it's just for silk's sake.
She almost fainted, like when he saw her ankle or something. The guy's weird. I don't know. Let's not talk
It's
about
not
Silk
weird.
here. It's weird.
Yeah, we will just get too distracted by silk. Right. Okay, I wanted to ask you one thing.
Yes.
What did Kellenwood mean that they lost the South? Which part of the South have they lost? Like,
Corel.
oh, is that the South they're talking about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not very clear on the.
Okay, by the way, he just pulled the entire fleet out of Corel. Like, he left 2 armies in Corel, just die.
No, he told them that they can withdraw if they want.
If they want.
Those are the ones who turn renegade, and those are the ones we see in that book, Stonewielder, right? They're the Malazans who have sort of become gone native there. No?
We learn from Scanaro in Desert Dreams
Hmm.
that 2 armies, the 8th and the 13th, ended up washing out on Malaz Isle. and they were too destroyed to actually make it. So that's 2 armies plus whatever troops Greymane had, plus all the renegades that stayed back. So we're looking at a few tens of thousands of soldiers on Corel just abandoned because Cannonball wanted to pull the fleet back with no second thought. Like, oh yeah, whatever, mistakes happen, it's fine.
Yeah.
This is the kind of person Cannonball is. Which is...
This is the type of ruler Cannonball is.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that it's not necessarily like acknowledged within the diegesis. It's like, oh yeah, this is totally something Cannonball would do. Why would we be surprised? And it's left kind of to the reader to like...
It's a ruthless empire, right?
That's fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing that Cannonball does that it is sort of understandable or anything, or sort of can be explained as he's doing something for the good of it. I don't know. It's sort of like a game, right? Just to collect the empire, to keep expanding, to keep conquering stuff, just because he can do it. It's like a game, just for the challenge of it.
Since we're on the topic of Cannonball,
yeah.
Go on.
No, that's the whole thing. Yeah, go on.
Since we're on the topic of Cannonball, so there's something more pointed out actually early on in the book, like chapter 3, after Cartharin and Cannonball have a discussion on the Twisted. Cartharin pulls out like a bottle of some viscous liquid.
Yeah.
And he just throws it overboard.
No, he doesn't just throw it. Kellenwood
he makes like a provocation, right?
Like he sort of just hands it off and say, do you mind throwing it away and all? And so Cartharin goes, and out of habit, he prays to Kem while throwing it. So it's awesome, right? He made the captain pray to Mael in spite of himself. And then there was more bloodshed, and then again, they clean the blood and again pour it into the sea. And yeah, Kellenwood is playing a lot of games in this.
Yeah. And the whole fleet of pirates and privateers and corsairs and all of that, which is like really smart, by the way, because this is totally something empires would do. Just hire people. Yeah.
There was so much build-up that these guys would go into his cabin and they would all just joke around, and the answer is like clueless what's going on. Like, why is he suddenly being friends with these guys? And he's been like, he's doing Inception with these fellows, right? He's just planting ideas that you can be rulers and you can just take over an island for yourself, and then he just pulls the rug under their feet, right? It's so good.
And there's
there's the usual tactic of distracting from the sea while the actual army comes up from behind. Oh, Kellenwood. But then, in spite of all his genius, what happens? Malakrill still survives. And still slips out and pretends to be the informant, and
like the fucking eel he is.
He's not the eel. Don't insult Krupp.
Right, he's not the eel. Anyway, he's
a snake. He's a snake.
Yeah, I guess. But what I wanted to make the point that hiring privateers and corsairs and giving them like embarkees of like a declaration of you can raid foreign trade and commerce and cities in my name. This is totally something empires would do, and it is totally something that will go awful. And this is usually how they dealt with it. This exact way of just roll up with a bigger navy and destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, it is like that, right?
That
so
tracks.
They put in the smaller powers to kill each other, and then they walk in and ruthless Kellenwood. And who I don't know why we even think that he could be insane, right? He can't be. He's
definitely
unhinged.
a psycho.
He is, but he's not like insane and just doing whatever he wants. He has purpose. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, so
for sure.
That's not insane, right? It's just psycho, as you say. Good word. Anything about? Oh, and that was nice. Cartharin swore that he would never step onto land again.
Like Nock. Yeah.
And we do keep hearing that, right? That Nock is, he never comes ashore and all that.
He does violate it a few times in the Book of the Fallen, but for the most part, every time we see him, he's on sea.
Yeah, he's sailing here. Nock is coming here. Nock's fleet is going there.
Even in Stonewielder, I don't think he ever steps on land.
I don't remember. Okay, maybe.
So this tracks. This is like something that he does, and it's neat. Yeah.
So, what about the Jek? I thought there was a question today on the sub. Did you go and answer
Yeah,
that?
I didn't answer that,
About
no, but they definitely do veer.
yeah, it's
They do
just
veer.
that Cam has these few words which he never uses, which Steve uses. And, like they have some things, some they keep it sort of different. Even the spellings, there are some spellings which they don't agree on, right?
Hmm.
I, I don't remember the example now, but they have some differences between them.
I
So
mean,
I
this
think
is
this is one
one.
of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean here it's not the spelling; it's just the usage. He just says transform, but Steve always makes it a point to say that they're veering or they're assembling,
yeah.
right? He never misses a chance to say use either of those words. So
What I find interesting is that we see a lot of different names for Jack, and usually it's a CK, which we see in like leather, we see in Corel, we see everywhere there's Jack, except here, which
okay,
is just Jehek without a
is
C,
that there's no C? Oh,
which is an interesting distinction. I'm not sure what it means precisely. Also, something which I found out recently is fen in some language. I think Archaic Italian means monster.
Fen.
Yes, fen. Just it's like the word demon for anything that's not like
Oh,
human and from this world. Fen is just monster. So they describe, the Telemann of the fen range as monsters, which is great,
no,
awesome.
I thought it was there was another post somebody was trying to talk about the word evolution. So telomen became like sort of something like that, then and because the and fe sort of go together. So that's where the fen came up. Someone had an idea like that, and I thought that made sense.
I mean,
Telomen, Toblerone.
I do think you can get those words from bastardizations of the different races, but I'm pretty sure that's where that word
Are
comes
you
from.
going to
At least
Google?
in Tali. I am looking it up, yes. I'm fairly sure. I
Oh,
could be crazy.
yeah. So this is one of the other differences between academics discussing a book and regular people talking about a book.
We're
Yeah.
a bit out of our anyway. What I
Yeah.
wanted to mention
So
is that, even like the monster races in Dali have like genuine culture and civilization, right? You have the
yeah.
Thalaman, you have even the Kichain have habited. You have the Jack we just mentioned, who do veer, by the way. They just look
No, they
very hairy.
transform.
They're very
They
okay.
just
Yeah, they transform and they don't assemble. They just transform back.
and they have like bear and wolf. They
Yeah,
have
they're
two
very
categories.
hairy. They're very big. They are very. They're more animalistic. Than other Soldaken, which is interesting. You
No,
have
but
your yeah.
yeah. Go on, go on.
You have other animalistic like Soldaken tribes, like the Jack of Leather, for instance, but they don't look like this and they don't act like this.
I think Cial is a good example
Yeah.
because she sees a soul taken, but apart from being described as wearing some white clothes or something, I don't think we get any idea that she is also soul taken. But the SETI, I think you will remember, they had different what do you call jackal things and all, right?
Yeah.
Cult of the jackal or different ones. So probably they all started as soul taken shamans, right? And probably by the time Return of the Crimson Guard happens, there are no more soul taken leaders, right? It was all just regular guys being shamans.
Yep.
No? Yeah,
Makes
SETI
sense.
culture.
That tracks.
What was Sayal's form? Like, what was the beast she was turning into? Are we told?
Yeah, but I don't remember. It's like a
No,
white
it's a
fox, I think.
sleek white
White
thing.
jackal, something like that.
Yeah, it's never like explicitly mentioned, I think. We just know it's silver and it's sleek and transforms mid jump and all that.
Yeah.
But I don't think we get the actual animal. I thought it was a bear for a long time, but it's not. I
Yeah.
don't think so. No, you're
Which
thinking?
okay. As a side note, Seattle's a fucking claw.
She is, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that just
I mean,
happened.
how many soul taken claws does Hurley have? Like, what isn't it awesome? Like,
Yeah.
How can she not be the claw master? But then, yeah, she is a defector at heart. So the topper is very loyal. So nobody
Yeah.
can replace topper. I don't know why everyone hates topper. He's just doing his job. I mean,
He's okay. To be
he's a
fair,
dick, but
before like OST, he is an extravagant, extremely like and self-indulgent dickwad, and it shows.
he just wears green. Like you shouldn't fault
Like,
people for
I
dressing
mean,
up nicely and
when
wearing
like
rings.
when Dudrek throws wine at him for appearing in his tent,
Yeah,
like, do you know how hard it is to clean silk? I just like,
yeah. He's good. Topper is good. But it is so nice to have this background, and then when you go into gardens, it's going to be so much more fun. Imagine that. Like there's two more books in the series. I can't
mm-hmm,
wait to see what more is laid out, right? What else do
mm-hmm,
we see in gardens which made like less sense to us? Probably some background on Tattoo Sale. Some more are we going to revisit her again? Probably.
possibly.
Because we need to set up Tashran versus Hairlock, Tattoo Sale, and the others, right? Acheronis, who dies like in one page.
Poor guy.
Yeah. So Belibran and Nightchill, wasn't that nice?
Yeah.
He starts calling sister and then she stops him.
No, Nigel. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was fun. So it's already established. Even I was thinking that, how did this ancient immortal lady have this boyfriend from in the Malazan army and all that? No, they met before.
mm-hmm.
So they're in the army because they came together properly. That makes sense. And that makes more sense that Beludin was grieving so much when she died
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
Yeah. So, it's so nice to have all these background things fleshed out. Ah, what is the storyline?
I mean, we've talked about Daishrin, right? But
You
it's
said,
more evident in like later, but especially in like the early books, it's not so evident. But here, it very clearly shows that Nightshell is grooming Daishrin to become Cruel's replacement. Like
is she?
it's so it seems, right?
Oh,
Because she
yeah. Now
meets
that
with Cruel in the early book, like when she first appears in the L.
true. I didn't
She
even
meets with
put that
Cruel
into
and they
the.
talk,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, oh, I see you have potential, so and she's gauging different individuals. It's not like she's just went to Daishrin immediately. She's like sees Callanbed and then appears to him. She sees the answer, goes to him, and so on and so forth. And she lands at Daishrin,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Have you tried pushing yourself harder?"
Though that's so good. Yeah, now
It's
that you
really good.
pointed out.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Oh, and that's so nice that Tashan realizes that, it's not just a scientific way of using magic. You need to put your heart into it, right?
Which
Your
okay,
gut. Yeah.
we see I think a lot in the later series an overcorrection towards the other way of like nobody's using the scientific methods anymore. Everyone's like
Yeah.
I feel, and it's Daishrin
Yeah.
that uses more science and like actually becomes the better Magus.
No,
You have
that's
like
what we
with
are
Cal,
told.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
The dialogue with Cal in Return was like
yeah.
bullshit. Who cares? I care, motherfucker. That's why I'm alive, and you're an IMAS now,
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah. No, that's so good because we thought that Tashan is just naturally good and then he becomes better because he goes into academics or something. But it's the other way, right?
Yeah.
He's just always been a student and he just becomes better with practice.
Mm-hmm.
It is so nice. But I can't say I like Tashan. It's just his character is so nice.
I don't
But
think he's meant to be likable per
he's
se. Like
not.
a
He's
lot of
not. No.
characters in this book are not meant to be likable per se, which is really
Hmm.
good because
Who else?
they
Who else
kind of
didn't
are.
you like? Malik Rill. I liked
Malik
Malik.
is very well written in this book, which I hate to say, but he's very well written. God damn it! Like I could believe everything that I read. Like
Yeah.
it's
And you can see that he's sort of immature here. He's sort of
Mhm.
still emotional and all that because by the time Dead House Gates happens, and by House of Chains at least, he's just not House of Chains. What's that? Bone Hunters.
yeah, Mount Hunters.
By the time he's like completely in control of what's going on, right? Everything is under
Mhm.
his control. Here he's still sort of insecure and he still is he's sort of scrambling here and he comes through. But it could be like touch and go. And why does he have gray green teeth? It's such a sad little thing to mention each time he comes up that he has gray teeth and green teeth.
It's his thing. It's his like his unique selling point, his USP, right? That's how you identify him at the end. Like he smiles
Yeah,
to
but
Aragon, which, by the way, Aragon appears in this book, and then he just like
oh
he
yes, yes,
smiles at
shout out to
Aragon,
our guy.
and
Yeah,
it's just the teeth. That's how you
yeah.
know.
Oh, but
So
that green teeth is so disgusting to read
it
about.
is. I think that's the point.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I think Steve just drops it like once or twice in the whole series, but Cam just rolls with it. Each time Malazan appears on page, there's mention of his green teeth. And at least he doesn't say green velvety teeth or anything, which should have made me cute. So at least he just stops with the color.
Yeah,
It's probably
yeah,
just decayed teeth. Yeah. What was it, lady? Glyneth, the
yeah.
abbess.
The abbess, whose title changed every time she came up. He
Was
was
the title
like
changing? Because I didn't really notice that. Some
Abbess, Glenith, whatever, Abbess of Cabell, and then something else, and then that something else would change until she lost those titles, and it just became Abbess of Cabell, and then she lost that too, and just became her name.
Oh, you said okay. I don't think I paid attention to that. Is there something like keeper of the pure faith or
Yeah,
things
something
like
like,
that?
it's
Yeah, it
something
keeps
like
coming up. Yeah.
completely weird and pointless. That just which we'll get to that in a second, but yeah, that comes up a lot.
Hmm. And Nooraj, that sounds like an Indian name, and I like the guy. Nooraj. He's like
The
the
guardian of the faith,
yeah
right?
the guardian. Yeah. And do you want to talk about Gianna, the
I mean,
Kiska stand-in of this book?
that's a good point.
I
But
have
yeah,
no problems with reading Kiska stand-ins because Cam does a really good job with each one.
I think yeah, I like the archetypes of women taking no shit from anybody, and Jenna definitely fits that bill.
Yeah,
I really like the banter. Like really
between
like the
her and
banter. Like her and Glyneth,
oh,
the like the I hate
oh
you
that
banter.
do you call it banter? Seriously,
I
like
mean,
she's so snarky with all of them. Is it banter? She's not being fun. Yeah, and who is it? Old smuggler who helps her.
Torva.
Torva is the guy. Yeah, Brevin is the captain. Yeah,
Revan's the captain. Yeah.
that is good. Oh, and yeah, let's give honorable mention of Mr. Bug.
No.
This is where he starts
Which
cooking.
is like really cool.
I
Just
know.
oh yeah, he's just trapped there, and he is given an offering with which to break his chain. It's like he does it again later. That's the same thing he does in the Crimson Guard to like tell Malik to go fuck himself.
Does he do that? Oh yeah, and that's when he comes. Right, right, right.
It's so
Oh, so
fucking
it's
cool.
like yeah. Oh wow. And that's when he gets his that shell knife and all that because he's trapped under there and oh, it is so good. But as soon as you mentioned that there is a pot-bellied guy living underwater, it's obviously
Everyone knew.
male, and
Yeah.
then he has to say, "I'm just a bug. I'm an insect." I'm just thinking of I still have this idea that if someone starts from PTA and they really like the books and then they go on to the rest of the Malazan, it's going to be so much fun for them.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm not sure how much people can be invested in just this, right? Like because we like it because there is so much we already know, at least in dancers and all. It's because we know it is Shimmer. It adds a lot of interest to her story. But if you don't know, it's just some random king's guard
I mean, to be
who just
fair,
escapes.
Ganon's
Yeah.
parent is just some random kid who is just
But
yeah.
there is so much going on in gardens, right? PTA is so much self-contained. It has like so few storylines to follow. At least in Ganos, by the time you get irritated with Ganos, there's Crocus, and then you get more irritated, and then there's Rake, and then you think, oh, everything is good. It so much is happening in gardens. We can't compare the two. But if someone started with PTA and then went on to the rest, I think they'll have a more fun time.
Yeah, for sure.
I think. Yeah. All this, I'm just a bug. And do you know the elder god? He can't like give up blood. It's like such a huge thing that he puts his whole weight on the knife and then squeezes out like one drop of blood to escape and all that. It's fun. And so this is where he picks up his cooking skills
Yeah.
to help King T-Hole the Only. Right. So after this, these guys are heading to Seven Cities.
Yeah.
So that's where we leave them.
Which
And
okay, can I just talk about how fucking effortlessly cool Imanaj is?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm in love.
Himanas is awesome, and it's I don't know. It's been like done so many times with all these cool sportsmen. Like we saw Dasam in sort of in the same situation
Hmm.
in previous books, and here Dasam is like taken up his title and he's doing all his first sword business. But Imanaj is still the reluctant warrior, and oh, it was so nice. And Aran has a queen. How long ago is this? Like the seven cities have champions, but I didn't know that Aran had a queen or anything.
I
No,
didn't know either because they're a
because I don't.
theocracy supposedly, right? Because everyone's like led by the Paladin, which are
Falan,
like
yeah.
theocrats.
No, but she is,
So
I think, mentioned as the priestess, the mother, the queen.
yeah, a lot of
I think
things,
all the
but
titles are thrown at her,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
she's just any
Maybe
of those.
could be.
And what is he? He's just a champion.
Yeah, he's like the champ. We have a champion of like Igadan who does some
Hmm.
fights. We have mentions
Yeah.
of other champions. You have Kalam who was like a dagger. Which okay, can we just talk about how many different peoples have like proto-claws? Like
Yeah.
Falar has like the covert
No,
arm of the Faith Militant,
no,
right?
it's just that everywhere people have assassins. And
It's a bit
Malazans just
ridiculous.
happen to call they just happen to call their claws, but it's usually just assassins, working
Hmm.
assassin spies basically. Every army needs one, every empire needs one. So yeah, tell me about Kalam being a dagger.
Yeah, I think we might actually see Kalam because he's in the next book because he's like the dagger of the Paladin
So if
in
we are
some
going
city.
to seven cities, do you think we'll be able to see like the setup for the whirlwind and all that? That would be so cool.
Definitely
Oh, I
probable.
really hope that
I
happens. Yeah.
think if anything, next book would be Dasim's book in the same way that this was like
Didn't we already have
Aethan's book.
Dasam's book where he
Necessarily.
becomes? Yeah, I mean, he he hooks up with that secular lady, so I think he's done.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, Tashan
I
is
don't know.
ace, so he doesn't get any. The
Yeah,
next book might be something to do with seven cities. What
we'll see.
what if we see Quickburn or someone? No, Quickburn and Kalam don't enter the army till like the Bridgeburner Raraku story, right?
They don't
So it
enter
has
the
to be,
army, but they could fight against them, right?
even though we have like a different explanation for what Bridgeburners mean, because
Hmm.
Jack, just Jack, burnt a bridge and then he was called Whiskey Jack and all that. I hope we get to see the whole Raraku chase as a camp's version of that.
I'm not
Oh,
sure if we will see that
I
because
don't
it's like
think
already
so.
done. But
Yeah, I don't
maybe
think
who
so,
knows?
but a different interpretation of that, at least. But already we have a different interpretation with Whiskey Jack blowing up a bridge. That was fun. What? We have finished the Moranth. Maybe it's Black Dog. I think that's what's coming up next.
Black Dog is 6, right? Like
Oh, is
book
it?
6 is Janabarkis.
Oh, is it? Okay. Then what's five?
5, 7 cities.
Yeah, but who is in seven
This is
cities?
4. I don't know.
Thanks for
I mean,
mentioning
my
this is
guess was
four.
Dasim, right? My guess was like up to and maybe including Gigaton.
I don't think we're going to see Egerton again because Knight of
I don't think
Knives
we'll
was.
see Gigaton. I think we'll see the build up to Gigaton, not the siege itself.
But then by Egerton, I think Surly was on the ground, right? Right now she's just holed up in Malaz,
Yeah,
not going anywhere. And when did they move to Unta? When did the capital change happen?
sometime
After these
between this
guys
book.
disappeared?
No. I think
No,
it's before this. No,
I don't know. I thought it was like they disappeared and then their capital was moved and then Surly took over or something. We don't know. Like,
we don't
yeah,
know. We're a bit
right.
clueless.
We have to ask one of the guys,
Yeah.
one of our buddies.
So I'm gonna nerd out a little bit.
You know what?
I'm gonna nerd out a little bit.
Oh yeah, let
So
me relax.
one of the things is on the maps of the book you get, there's actually
Yeah.
an island somewhere in the middle of like Walk Sea, I think it is, which is called Ruined Isle or something of the sort,
Rubble Isle. Rubble.
or Rubble Isle. And um, the description of it tracks very well with the original island that you have in the
Prologue.
prologue, and then later it's acknowledged. And I think that's really cool. I just think, because I noticed the first thing I look at is the map, and then I read the prologue, and then I went back and saw the thing. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's nice. The other
But
thing
why were
is,
you flipping to the back of the book?
I don't know. Acidic glossary or something. I don't know. I do that sometimes. The other thing which I quite like is one of the main themes that's presented in this book, and it's not acknowledged whatsoever. It's not even talked about. It's not like no one's actively in your face talking about it. Like, oh yeah, by the way, here's what's up. You have Dristel's Bane, and what is Dristel's Bane?
Dristel's Bane is just the history, the forgotten history, the hidden history, which is like sealed and thrown to the bottom of the ocean.
Yep.
Which is what Kalanur is doing with his historians.
It's just
nice. Yeah.
It's excellent. The best
Yeah.
weapon to defeat such narratives, such imperial colonialist narratives, is knowledge. Is the
Yeah.
maintenance of old knowledge and who your culture is and was.
Yeah.
And that's brought up with Kellenvid. That's brought up very well with the Gistel. That builds a lot into most of Tavor's motivations for keeping like Blistig alive in Book of the Fallen. It's like, we need to keep the truth of the chain of Doc alive. So I'm going to keep you alive, even if you're a piece of shit to me, because I need you to be alive, because I need the truth to be maintained. And it's just, no one talks about it. It's just, oh yeah, Kellenvid just gathers historians like mistresses, and you know, the weapon against the Gistel is just knowledge.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the oral tradition that's carried over from Gianna's grandmother and the like about the old Celt of Mail.
The invaders and
the invaders. And who talked about the invaders?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Cam has such a nice way of bringing this up, right? Like in each book, there are invaders and there are invaders. So, and this is what Ruthen was saying in Dust of Dreams, I believe.
Which he says Strike Island, and we don't get Strike Island. We get like more centrally in Fallor, so it kind of tracks, but it's still bullshit. Which probably talks to Ruthen being very old. Like he's weaving a plausible lie based on his past experiences.
Or he could actually be a male-favored child of Falar.
Maybe.
I mean, it tracks, right? Because he's male-favored, and that's why the Storm Riders made a deal with him. And maybe it was just his nickname, just call me Elder or something, and that's why the Talani must call him Elder. So.
It's very possible, yeah.
Yeah. No, but so these black-haired guys are like the actual Falarans, and the red-haired are the invaders, like Fiddler, origin of Fiddler and all that is from... He says that he's Falari origin, right? Fiddler. So, that's nice. And then we have... Yeah?
Yeah. And
even Stormy and Gessler, I believe, even they are Falarans. Yeah. Yeah, go on.
The interesting point I want to raise is that Malik Rel doesn't have red hair.
Yeah, he's favored by male.
The original male guy.
Yes.
Which is just... What the fuck?
I mean,
what's favoring this guy? Why this dude?
Yeah. He can't help it. Like, he was born with his, favoring of whatever, blessing of male or something. So, and that's why he was able to use the Elder God for so long.
Right, yeah.
And wasn't it very nice after reading through those scrolls and all that, and Gianna can just command. She can just...
No sacrifices, no bullshit, just...
Nothing. Yeah, she can just request the way... And Tayshan does the same thing, right? He just requests everything. So,
I love Calm so much, man.
Oh, and did you know, I was looking up what is Ute. Did you say UTE? How do you say the word?
Yeah, Ute.
That's like the origin of the word Utah, the state. It's the name of a people there. So.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an actual wiki word. Yeah. Ute and Missy. I like Missy. I like the name. So, right. So that's what Gianna does. She just asks and you know how many people get treasure in this? How many people get rich here? Those two twins carry off sacks of like rubies and stuff. And then the whole Brevin's crew, they also get a lot of sea treasure. And you know the way this thing ends with those two twins showing up with sacks of gems and they can't eat it and they say we will pay and all that. It has so much of this novelas vibe. This book has a lot of vibes of the novelas. I think you'll like it. One of the ones in the middle, like what's after Lease of Laughter's End? Worms of
Dead, Worms of Blearmouth, yeah.
Yeah, that has a lot of vibes like this. Even that's like a Wrecker's Coast setting.
Mhm.
So you have old people, smugglers, and
Right.
you should read them someday. But yeah.
What else do I want to nerd out about? Hold up.
Well, you had
Oh,
another thing to nerd
we
about.
didn't even fucking talk about the moving. Holy shit. Okay.
Oh yeah,
There's a moving fucking mountain in this book.
like that is the main character. Yeah, that mountain.
Just
One thing which I totally enjoy what Cam does is like have this thing happening at the center of the book and then have all these stories just surrounding it, right? It's so much fun.
I
Like
was
you
gonna bring
see,
that up.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's so nice to see just one standard thing relentlessly moving north, spewing out clouds, and it's hot and nobody can go there. And then everyone is looking at the same thing and going through different reactions with it. And it's so good. It's so cohesive.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, go on.
What I wanted to bring up in this regard is Steve's method of storytelling is you have the environment serve as a backdrop for events to happen. Like even in the desert, right? Like the bone hunters are marching and they're dying in the desert and they spend that time moping. Like the desert is a backdrop to facilitate their philosophizing, which is a
Yeah.
very interesting way of storytelling. I wouldn't be here if I didn't like it. But also
Cam.
it kind of diminishes the effect of the background. Like they're just dying. It's whatever. Who cares?
I mean, it's called background, so it's supposed to be in the background.
Yeah.
It's Cam who does the
Here,
opposite.
you have events in the background occurring in the foreground, and everyone's reacting to what their environment is doing, rather than the other way around. It's not that like they can actively change their environment at will. Like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna move this mountain. Who cares? No, you don't do that. The mountain moves you.
Yeah.
It destroys forts. It destroys fortifications. It destroys your entire army. It kills like 2,000 people. It fucking moves through the sea with the burning engines. It's a moving fucking mountain, and it's just so good.
Yeah. I think this is why I like Blood and Bone so much. Because the whole story is all
definitely
about
another part. Yeah,
the
yeah,
environment. Yeah, the ambience of it. And even Stone Wielder, by the end of it, I was like feeling cold and damp because it was so much on the sea and you could just keep reading the same things again and again.
There's so many mentions of like people being frigid and cold and damp and wet and all
And
that.
the spray hitting them and all those.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was so good. But this one, yeah, the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The mountain. No, what I wanted to say in this book is like Admiral Esselmon's on point. There's so much boat stuff, and it's amazing. Like you can tell the
we
guy
call
really
him-
likes to write this stuff, and it shows.
And there is even more ship talk in this, right? Like even more of those stuff and people just tying themselves to rails and making sure they don't fall away and all that. It is so
Like
good.
belaying poles and like navigating tight
We've had
straits.
we've had belaying poles before.
We've had all of that, but it's just there's so much
Yeah.
more here, and I
No, I know
really
that-
like this stuff.
I know that because I've read Esselmont. I know what belaying poles are because I've read them. But yeah, as he said, it is just wish fulfillment, right? It's not like
Yeah.
he's an actual sailor, and I find it so hard to believe. Like, can't
He writes like one. God.
yeah. And he never brings up any vulgar talk from Gianna. He just says that she has sailor's curses and she talks bad and all that, but he never like actually brings it up. He never says what exactly she's talking. No, which is a nice way to do it, right?
The only person who's like overtly vulgar is Herlock in this book, right?
What does
He's
he
just
say?
like when Ciala attacks him, he just goes like "fuck off" or like "fucking whore." Or something.
Oh.
He just swears very like openly.
Do you know what I really enjoyed about Smokey? The way Smokey talks.
Hmm?
He's all like chill, like, come on, man, let's go, man. What do we do, man?
Which also tracks because that's how
Yeah,
he deals
yeah.
with Shimmer, right? That's when he dies and he goes back with Shimmer and like as a brethren and he guides her through. That's the vibe he adopts, right? The
No,
chill,
he's the
laid back.
one who totally helps out Kyle, right? In the beginning. Kyle looks
Kyle
up to
and,
Smokey more than anyone else.
And even in Li Hang, he's like the most chill of the four, right?
Yeah. Oh, so we got Smokey here, we got Korol. Who was the others? Silk is missing in
Mara
action
and
somewhere.
Silk.
Where
Mara is
Mara?
with Skinner. With Skinner, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And Jakurugu, and Silk is missing in action.
Silk boarded a ship to go somewhere. No idea where. After Shalmanath is died. Did she die?
No, she gets banished.
Yeah, so even Silk goes away.
Yeah.
But we remember he gets on a ship with some people, and I don't know where he
Yeah,
went.
and he goes like
Maybe
he goes to the Empire, somewhere like I think Malazan or something like that, or he goes to the
but then
Malazan
he
Empire.
comes back. He then comes back in Return of the Crimson Guard, so he's around. He's not like completely gone. And then we meet him and Liz and all this. Oh, it's going to be so much fun to go back to those books now. No,
Yeah, for sure.
are we going to just constantly keep reading Malazan over and over because we keep making these
That's my
connections?
fear, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've been going 3 years now. What about you? 2 years.
2 and a bit. In
Yeah.
a bit, rather. I've not yet close 2 years.
Oh, you haven't finished 2 years yet.
No. I finished 2 years in about 2 months.
But then
1 month.
you
1.5.
read everything at least twice already, except Gardens
Except Gardens and The Crippled God and
and
Fall of
Fall of
Light.
Light.
And I've not read the novellas at all. So,
Oh, yeah. That's a big glaring mistake.
my bad.
Yeah, you should read them to call yourself a Malas
I'll remember to do that as soon as possible. Yeah, so I can talk
You
about
will?
the adventures of Malcolm.
Did you buy the
I do
novellas?
I have for the first
You do?
3, which
Right.
annoyingly don't have Worms of Blearmouth. They have Healthy Dead,
So
which
what?
is annoying.
Healthy Dead is also amazing. Healthy Dead is so funny. It made me like laugh and laugh. I might have sent screenshots to you on from Healthy Dead.
It's very possible.
Yeah, it was very good.
But anyway, let's come back and track a bit. There's probably I don't remember what else I want to talk about. There's a lot. Okay.
There's a mountain. Okay, I
there's a
I have a
mountain.
question.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a question.
Yes.
What do you think is the speed of this mountain? Because people are just running and climbing on it, and it's still moving. But
It
can
can be
someone
that
do the
fast, right?
math and tell me like what is the speed?
It's not like ramming speed. It's a pretty sizable mountain with a few old engines, so it can't be moving that quickly.
Yeah,
But it does
like
have a lot
people
of
can
momentum.
Just hop in and hop out. They just
It
wait
has a
for.
lot of momentum due to the mass that it has. So because of that, it's like it's pretty unstoppable, but doesn't move quickly. So if you're like small, it's the same thing. Like if you drop like a rat from a 10-story building,
No,
the rat's not
I
gonna
want.
mind.
No, I'm asking for a number like 10
I don't know
miles
what the
per
number
hour.
is.
Yeah, I want a number. That's what I'm trying
I don't
to
know.
find it. Do we have the maps? We can scale it, and you can. Maybe if you have the time, you should
I'm
calculate.
sure if I have the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just might.
yeah, you should. Is there maps to scale? I think it is.
I
The
think there's
map?
probably a scale somewhere. I know Kharkanas has scale maps, so this one should probably do.
Most maps have, like Kharkanas has. Yeah, we'll not talk about Kharkanas here because we want audience
Let's
when
not.
we start Fall of Light.
I don't actually see a scale here, but I'm pretty sure you can do the math anyway. Like it's no big deal.
Yeah,
No big
why
deal.
don't you try?
I just might.
And even though Imanaj is so cool and all that, at the end he says, "I've seen these Malazans. They are no threat to us." And,
And no threat to us. Yeah.
oh, so sad. I think we'll start book 5 and we see that Imanaj is already dead or hung up or something like
I
that.
really
Yeah,
hope
that's
not.
how-
I hope not.
That's what's going to happen, Lee. You better prepare for it.
I'm sure, but I hope
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Or maybe he defects and becomes a Talon or something. Can you imagine the holy champion becoming a Talon for the Malazan Empire? I can't. No, I don't think that will happen.
That'd be cool.
No, he's
What
going to
did I
die.
want to talk about? Right.
There is a Lee.
Yeah, there is a Lee, which is probably
Yeah.
a pseudonym, by the way, not like his actual name, but there is a Lee.
Yeah, and a male Lee at this,
Yeah, there's a male Lee at last. It's not some claw lady in Malaz City.
Yeah.
I'm very. And he's an asshole, but yeah, that's par for the course at this point.
The other Lee was nice. That I like that one. The first.
Yeah, she was
claw,
fun.
Right?
She was the other Kiska stand-in we had.
Yeah. So each book has a Kiska standard.
Yeah.
And no complaints. We're not complaining. We're not
Of course
bitching about
not.
it. We're
course
happy to
not.
have more Kiska standards. So, right. And there are Kiska stand-ins, and there are also old ladies smoking pipes stand-in. So, Jan and Jan. You want to talk about
Yeah.
Jan and Jan? Who's the
We,
sister?
well, Janelle was the guy, and Janelle is the sister.
guy.
But yeah. We've seen them before in Caliban's Reach, and the reason they're so old, despite like they're in their 20s, is because Janelle was like taken, kidnapped, and like tortured. I don't remember exactly what was going on, but Janelle takes her to a witch a candle witch like Riga, not her, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
And for their magic to work, they need to trade their life source.
Ah, they do that. Yeah.
So you know how like Pulley and Squish draw on Twilight to become younger. It's the same thing.
Who?
The two Shake Witches.
Yeah.
Pull and Twilight. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. Like she becomes younger, they used to become older, and so on and so forth. Like
No,
despite
you
appearances.
You mentioned Twilight, and I wasn't thinking of Yan Tovis.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Yeah. It's an RTBR. Not really. But yeah, we've seen this before, and we know how the story ends. So, yay.
But then the actual first time we see Jan and Jan is when they're being killed, right?
Yeah. But we know that Jan, male Jan, becomes High Fist of the Lands, which is a Falari city.
Oh, was he the
So
High
that
Fist? And Surly feels betrayed.
Yeah.
That, she feels sad. But then, is she the one who was like getting them killed? She's the one.
Yeah, she's the one that ordered the whole thing, yeah. And then told Possum to go kill Janelle, so, yeah.
And she's sad about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Surly. Poor Surly.
Speaking of...
yeah? Oh, didn't we start this book with that awesome scene with Surly?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the book began? Yeah, that was such a good hook. Everyone just
we're gonna
shuts
bid
it
Fowler.
down.
We're gonna do what?
You're going? No. Yes, I'm going. And she tries to stop everyone and nobody listens to her. And, it's sort of understandable. No wonder she takes over the kingdom because nobody really wants it.
Like, on the one hand, you can definitely read it as she's trying to exert her own authority and undermine Kellanved. On the other hand, she's taking all she's taking all the people who are actually competent and she's leaving her with nothing. And like, oh yeah, here you go. Just run this. I'm gonna take everybody here and go like on a trip.
So. Yeah, poor Surly. Like she's just ganged upon and she's just abandoned by all these fellows. Oh, you know what? Maybe the next book is going to be all Surly. Did we already have a Surly book?
Yeah, it was Death House Landing.
Yeah, we did.
But we also had a Dassam book that was Death House Landing.
Which happens to be your favorite. Because it's a Surly book.
I wonder why.
Yeah. So we have no idea what book 5 is about. Right.
Pretty much. What I wanted to say is you can definitely see in this book the different camps, so to speak, being set up within the Imperial family.
Yeah.
You have the people who will stick with Shirley, and they are, ride and die empire. They're Imperials at heart. They believe in the mission. They're actually competent. They do what they must, and so on and so forth. Like, say, Dujek, like Tashrin. And then you have the people who are more lax. They're more like, whatever, we're just doing this for our own deal. It's fine. No biggie. Like, okay, Kellanved and Dancer, obviously. But also...
Yeah? Go on.
There is some implication. Mostly, I want to say it's mostly baseless. Like, about Dassam. I do believe Dassam's a good person doing what he thinks is the right thing.
Yeah.
But someone did bring into my attention that he's like very nonchalant about just killing people because Kellanved told him to.
No, he gives his life in servitude, right? He says, in exchange for this, I will serve you, regardless of what.
So I do want to believe that Dassam's a good guy, but... So, technical issues.
Yeah, back.
Forgive us. We're back. What I was talking about is, like, I do want to believe that Dassam's a good guy doing the right thing, but you can also kind of see that he might do his own thing in the future if things come to it. And we have an entire book to see how that happens, right? We have a next book. Supposedly builds up to Yucatan.
Which you have just decided on your own that the next book is the build-up to Yucatan. You just decided that.
When Cam hit 1 million sales, there was like a roadmap on some site. Because that was before COVID, and like Driscoll was supposed to come out in 2020, right? Mm-hmm. And before COVID, like he made a roadmap of like how everything looks. And book 5 is 7 cities, book 6 is Junabakis, but that's subject to change. For one, for two. What I was talking about is like you can definitely see that one of my favorite running gags in this book is like Dujek being, oh my god, Shirley's gonna kill me in different ways for something, because he's definitely a military man. This is the Dujek and Tashrin you want to see in Gardens of the Moon. This is the rapport that they used to have.
Yeah.
and Tayshrin getting like annoyed that he's ordering him around, and Tujagas just doesn't even care because he's like 10,000 soldiers with him that he needs to worry about. It's really good. And then you have Gillenbit, who just doesn't care, just doesn't give a shit.
No, and here you can sort of start seeing how the Napans are being split, because instead of having Nock and Cartheron being camps early, they're slowly turning over to Camp Kellenwood and Camp Empire, right?
Mhm.
Maybe we'll see more of their rift in these next two books. Maybe in the background, not front and center, probably. And please, can we talk about Tokaras? I'm so mad. I try so hard to like accept inconsistencies and go with the flow and all that, and this made me like so angry. So, Talk the Elder, who joins the SETI, is at least half Napan, which makes Talk the Younger. You're not going to respond, huh? Which makes Talk the Younger at least a mild shade of blue, which we have not seen in over 10 books. 10 books of. No, okay, fine. When he entered Anastar's body, maybe
2
he
books.
dropped.
He's only his actual body for 2 books. Everything else is someone else's body.
Yeah, fine. In entire 2 books, we'd have not. But then that would track. That would track that Steve never mentions that this guy has blue skin or something.
To be
I'm so
fair, Napans get tanned because a lot of the time you have Napans being described as very dark skinned when they're like sunburned and stuff. You have Nock, who is pretty Napan in Stonewielder. We know that, like, in the novels at least, he's Napan. He is described like the hue of ironwood, which is close to how they describe Dalhon. They just look very dark skinned.
Can I tell you
Now,
that
you would notice if they're blue, because they're blue, but I can at least vaguely believe that Talk the Younger passes as more of a,
Can I tell you that
Napan, yeah.
I think people have asked Steve like what does dusky blue skin mean, and he apparently told look at like Indian Hindu temples and you can see what the way we portray gods and goddesses are in blue skin. Have you seen any photos or pictures
a
like
few,
that?
yeah.
I might have shown you. Yeah. So this blue skin usually, I mean, you heard of Krishna, right? You heard the god
Yeah.
Krishna. So Krishna, the word Krishna means night. It means dark.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always portrayed as being blue skinned
Mm-hmm.
because we don't really. I mean, imagine like painting like a few hundred years ago. You can't really paint black, right? So the closest thing you would paint is blue. And so most of our gods are all portrayed as being blue, or some are even green, as a stand-in to show that they are dark-skinned. So what you're saying tracks, but since we're not talking Hinduism, we're talking
We're not talking
Malazan
Hindu,
here.
so fuck that.
I'm
Yeah.
still going to be mad that Tokaras is half Nepal.
Do also amend this. Talk in Return of the Crimson Guard says he's from like the Blurian Plains, which does not look Napan at all. So, shrug.
Yeah, shrug. Yeah.
Which leads me to, I don't know if like how intentional this is. Well, I know it's somewhat intentional at least. I don't know if it's like that's the direction it's going, but Path to Ascendancy feels like it's building to a framed narrative, sort of like the Book of the Fallen,
Is
because
it?
it's written with a very Malaz-centric view. It's written like the information that will be available to a historian in Malaz. Because take the Book of the Fallen, right, and see how it portrays the Andi, with Camin Sod, who has more information available to him about how they act, how their society is. And then take that and contrast it to Path of Ascendancy's Andi, where like, like they're all asleep, they're all brooding all the time, which, yeah, it tracks.
Oh,
but
did you think that sleeping was them brooding?
at least partly. At least some
I
of them.
thought they were like
Like fair.
hibernating or something. Like,
It's possible. But
Yeah.
what I mean is that they're all very formal. Everything is very formalized. Even their like the way they speak, the way they present themselves, the way magic is portrayed in Path of Ascendancy is very formal. It's like, this is what the Warren is. This is what the Warren's about. This is what the Warren does.
I don't. Yeah, I sort of don't agree with you. But do you have an idea of who the narrator is going to be?
I have no idea. But
I thought you would say Shimmer or something.
no. Like the way it portrays Imperial stuff especially feels like it's much more close. Like our narrator, our hypothetical narrator, because I don't think there's like an in-world narrator, is much more close and much more aware of the inner workings of the Malazans rather than like the Jack or the Andy or the Thillaman or even the Kitchen and Jagged.
So that's why the narrator is Cam. Just
Possibly.
Cam. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a frame narrative. So let's wait and watch. We'll find out in 2 books.
I mean, maybe. Maybe it
Yeah.
isn't. But written this way, it also just it introduces the world in a much more tangible manner. And just okay, here's what this guy is. Good luck figuring it out.
Here's 3 mages against a mountain, and the mountain goes away, and everyone is dead. Yeah.
So
it's
at
kinda
least there's
see.
that. It's definitely written with a more new reader in mind, right? Like there's
Maybe
definitely a lot of Easter eggs. But
What
yeah,
if the next book is Fiddler? I would be so happy to have a Fiddler book.
I would
No,
be
you wouldn't
happy,
like
but
it.
also it would like kind of ruin the whole Fiddler's more than one character theory.
No, not just that, but you have a clear picture of who Fiddler is. So to have a background to
Also
him
that.
might not be that, Yeah, so maybe. Let's.
We'll see.
And it's going to be so tough if we bring Cam and like ask him all these things. He's going to be so close-mouthed.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going
for
to be
sure.
fun.
It's
Yeah.
for one, it's Cam. For two, it's an upcoming book, so he can't really talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, we can't even talk about this book if we bring him on because this book is like not yet released in US.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to stick to Calendar Stitch. It's going to be nice. Unless we talk to him next year.
Thanks, Thor.
Right. So is there anything more?
Probably, but I don't remember anything at the moment, so might as well
Me
just close.
too. Yeah. So we'll wind up?
I guess.
Yeah. So now I think it'll be safe for us to go and listen to AP and Philip and see
Yeah.
what a better job they've done.
Oh yeah. They talked for like an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even broach that. God damn it.
And with so many digressions. But then they did a non-spoiler and a spoiler thing. So
So it counts. We're in the right here.
yeah. We'll call it a draw.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Just aside. Thank you very much for watching or listening.
And the next
I
plan
think
should
the next plan is yeah.
hopefully we wind up Force of Darkness, or we just straight up start Fall of Light because we're tired of trying to arrange a wind up episode. Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a commitment on record because I'm an idiot, but there's a slight chance. A slight chance. I'm not sure if I'll do it, but since I'm doing this here, I probably will.
Yeah, good.
That I might start a series of like a few episodes called like Smiley's After Hours, which is basically me drinking our supply and talking about Malazan.
Drinking what?
Our supply. Because we close the tavern, so we have to drink for the night so it doesn't spoil.
No, are you like actually going to do the episodes?
Probably not.
With
I'm not going to do the episodes
Why
drunk.
not?
No.
It'll be so much
I
fun.
don't have nearly enough alcohol to
Okay.
portray a tavern accurately. But yeah, ideally, sometime soon, as like it's not on schedule, so it'll just be a bonus episode. Just will come out randomly at some point, maybe. So our normal schedule is this release at some point, and then we're either winding up for the darkness or we're starting Flow of Light.
Yeah.
From then on, we'll see. So Smiley's After Hours coming to a tavern near you soon, maybe possibly. So I was Lee.
Fun. Yeah. Thanks, I've been Bora. Good night.
And, thank you very much, and good night.
Bye.